After almost 2 years of delay, Port Moresby is preparing for its imminent connection to Papua New Guinea's 10 GB per second fiber optic gateway in Madang. Connected via a 750-kilometer cable that will piggyback the ExxonMobil liquefied natural gas pipeline, the new connection is expected to hugely reduce internet rates, serving as a catalyst for wholesale market change across the telecommunications sector. Hi, I'm Festus Maigenup. Welcome to this edition of Business PNG. Now, following the liberalization adjustments introduced in 2007, enforced by the National Information and Communications Technology Authority, since 2010, the telecommunications industry has been thriving. Ahead of the cable coming online, PNG's local ICT players have worked to consolidate their market positions. Mobile service provider Digicel PNG and long-term local internet service provider Daltron are expected to be the frontrunners. Here is an interview with Graham Ricks, Daltron's Chief Executive Officer and General Manager.
Welcome to the show, Graham. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Now, I understand your appointment to CEO is a fairly recent one of some months. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, I'm from Sydney originally, born in Adelaide. I was appointed to the Daltron General Manager CEO position for the group, all of the Pacific, in December. So this is my 9th month.
What vision do you bring with you? What's your vision for driving Daltron's growth?
When I first came up here in October, we discussed a lot about the opportunities within government, mining and resources. The biggest initiative that we've implemented is to implement an Earth satellite station. We've nicknamed it DES, which stands for Daltron's Earth Satellite Station. It's a 6.5 metre dish in our Waigani store, which facilitates us to provide communications for government and for corporate throughout PNG. The opportunity is enormous because it's allowing us to get to the regional areas. Carpenters has just rolled it out into 14 locations. So now we're in a position to assist with health and education and other areas of requirements for PNG.
Okay, but your core business is, you have retail, you have...
Everybody knows Daltron because of retail. Retail's our biggest sector. Vision City and of course Waigani. We also have stores in Lae and Tabubu. We're about to expand in 2013 into Kimbe and Kokopo and other regional areas with retail. The exciting thing about Daltron is now it's a complete ICT provider. Not only do we have the areas of being able to supply notebooks and iPads and everything else in the retail sector, we are affiliated very, very closely with high-level certification with HP, Dell, Xerox and Citrix. So we have a service department of over 50 people that allows us now to provide total services to the ICT, which then link into providing satellite communications and the area of internet and ISP. We're also providing that to corporate and residential customers. So we're providing the full gambit of ICT elements.
Certainly sounds like it. And your business services portfolio, that's going to continue developing, obviously. You've developed with the Earth DES, you were calling it? DES. Is there anything in the future that you're going to be moving into?
We're looking at providing it not only in Papua New Guinea, but into Solomon Islands, into Vanuatu and Fiji. It uses the G23 satellite, which is basically straight above Papua New Guinea. It provides us a big advantage because it's C-band, and also we have dual backup services. In layman's terms, what that's providing the customers and government and corporate is about a 99.95% uptime, even when it rains. Rain's being the biggest thing with communications in this country.
Yes, yes.
So we're in a situation now where we can provide very reliable service and competitive service because it's opened up. And I think Telecom and Remington and Daltron and others are going to bring the prices down of communications, which is good for PNG.
We'll have more of the interview when we come back. Daltron has been around since 1977 and is recognized as an essential ICT solutions provider, not only in Papua New Guinea, but in the South Pacific as a whole. And with the opportunities available here, the company plans to embark on major development projects that include a public-private partnership approach with government and the establishment of other provincial branches.
Now, we've been hearing a little about the Daltron Pacific strategy. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing there, and particularly in Vanuatu?
Vanuatu's our biggest opportunity at the moment. Also, we have offices in Fiji and Solomons, as I mentioned. With Vanuatu, we're in an iGov project where we're bringing 140 locations of the Vanuatu government through all the islands into one database and one set of infrastructure. Our people have been involved in an audit and also in putting together the strategy of what requirements are required with storage and servers to put that whole iGov project together. So that's going to be rolled out in 2013, 2014, and
right.
We've been working for the last 12 months with them. So that's it.
Sounds like huge expansion there. Are you likely to move to any other areas? Your geographical growth, I guess, is what I'm asking about.
Mainly focused in PNG at the moment, mainly in the regional areas. We will be opening in 2013, as I said, in Kimbe and Kokopo. There'll be other regional offices opened as we expand the VSAT network.
What is Daltron doing in partnership with the government to drive business enablement in this ICT through ICT technology?
One of our exciting projects coming up with one of the major government departments is to move into cloud technology, as well as providing backup and storage. We have a disaster recovery centre in Waigani as well. So
perhaps you could just explain to the viewers what is cloud technology?
Cloud technology for the layman is being able to have your software and your operation and users located in another location, rather than having everything on site right. with lots of hardware. Mm-hmm. You're actually operating in another location.
Now, you touched briefly on the disaster recovery centre in Waigani. Can you expand on that? What's that all about, and who is it targeted at?
Our DR centre in Waigani is aimed at small business, corporates and government. Whether it's a compliance within the business or whether it's a backup for the operation, what we're able to provide through the satellite communications is the storage of their software, of their servers, so that if anything happens with lightning or whether their servers go down, within minutes or hours they can be operating again through the Disaster Recovery Centre in Waigani. So they can have access to that. We back up all of their information on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, at any time of the day. So it provides our customers, whether they be government, corporate, small business, the facility to have security in their data.
Is this currently operating?
Yes, it is. It's been operating for the last 12 months.
And it's been effective, I take it?
Yeah, we had a good take up from corporate, and now we're trying to move the government sectors across as well.
So Graham, what's your advice to new and returning investors in the ICT sector in this country?
In answer to your question, the biggest element is service. Risk mitigation, making sure we've got the right skill sets, and servicing the customer. They're the key three things if you're going to invest in ICT here in PNG. The service element is key when it comes to certification of people. We must have the right people on the ground to grow business and to assist business here with certification, with the accreditation from suppliers to aid the business or the government sector. So those elements, along with the risks associated with that, would be the main area that I would highlight to people investing in ICT.
Valued advice from a company that we know is a model for all to learn from. Thank you for being with us today, Graham.
Thank you very much.
After the break, we take a look at what Digicel has done since entering the Papua New Guinea market and its future plans in this thriving ICT age. Welcome back, you're watching Business PNG. Now, like Daltron, Digicel also has its plans in place for the coming years. This includes an extension to its ICT service provision. Since its inception in 2007, the mobile phone company has invested over $1 billion kina here. The mobile phone company was awarded an international gateway license in July last year, strengthening its means to begin building wide infrastructure and capacity. This opens up the market for consumers to alternative services as well as markets beyond the urban centers. Competition in Papua New Guinea's telecommunication industry was introduced in July 2007 when Digicel came into the market with its mobile voice and short message service. The rippling effect was immediate. Mobile phone prices dropped to as low as 20 kina and the surge to own one was astonishing. It's been over 5 years now, and the investment made by this telecommunications company has been enormous.
Over the last 4 to 5 years, we've spent over 1 billion kina in Digicel, in PNG. And when we started here, it was really about rolling out the network.
Many people know Digicel as a telecommunication company, but there's more to this mobile phone service provider in terms of ICT service provision. The National Information and Communication Technology Authority, NICTA, granted Digicel career, content and application licenses in July last year, opening up the potential for Digicel to offer more competition in the areas of fixed landline voice and internet communication and a range of other ICT services. Digicel committed to transform customer experience for fixed line voice and internet services, mirroring how the company revolutionized the mobile telecoms landscape since its inception in the market. The acquisition of Datanets added the drive to providing quality ICT services portfolio for the corporate customer segment. So the last 5 years has been about getting people connected. Into phase 2 now, and the company plans to invest in its infrastructure for network expansion to support the growing customer demand for data.
We changed the life of so many businesses in places in the northern regions where during the coffee trade where people could send SMSs to get prices sent down into the city rather than having to walk and travel down to the city to go and trade in the marketplace. All these things could be done automatically. And now what they're looking at is how they can get access through data to actually understand what's going on in terms of global market prices of certain commodities so that they can actually prepare and plan their business in the future. So, what actually changed their life in the last 4 years, they are now hungry for more and actually improving their productivity even further.
All this was announced in a Business Solutions breakfast seminar in Port Moresby recently. Of the 1 billion kina invested here, 70% was spent on building network in the rural and isolated areas. To date, mobile-based customers have exceeded 2 million. But that isn't enough, as the dynamics of customer needs are changing dramatically. The need for accessing data is currently the #1 driving factor.
Obviously what we've showed today is a very exciting application that businesses can use to improve the productivity of their business, which is also about reducing costs, improving staff morale.
Digicel has recorded over 2,000 corporate customers with more than 35,000 business mobile users. The company says over 600,000 people use data today, with over 400,000 Facebook users alone. And if you think these figures don't apply to customers in rural areas, well, you better think again, because much of the demand is coming from this particular group of people.
To our customers, we'd like to thank you very much for being loyal, trusted customers of Digicel. We can see, obviously, that your appetite for communications is changing. One of the things that we would like to ask you is that certainly come into any of our retail locations around the country, and you can now start to get access to these 3G communication devices. And we call it, it's an internet revolution going on here in PNG. It's now time to think about upgrading your communications and getting access to these great services that you can get via the internet or via broadband. So we look forward to seeing you, whether it's in one of our retail outlets or one of our partners' retail points around the country, and enhancing your communication needs.
There's more on this story on the other side of the break. Here's the second part of the digital story. To meet customer demand, the company over the last 12 months has been investing into Edge and 3G networks, particularly in Port Moresby and Leigh City to start with. The company anticipates to roll out 150 new 3G sites over the next 12 months.
We've actually, of those 150, we have 30 that have just been rolled out over the last 3 months, and we have another 40 that will come on air in the next, between now and the end of March. And then from March to June, we will rapidly roll out the balance of our network. The difference between a 3G network and a 2G network is that you don't just go for coverage breadth. So it's not about just expansion and going out. You have to build a deep network. So that means more sites in Port Moresby, so that you can handle the demand of data users simultaneously. More in-building coverage. People who use their mobile data actually want to be able to be doing it whether you're sitting in an office, sitting in your home, or wherever you are. So it's not just about outdoor coverage, it's about indoor coverage. So you need more sites to penetrate to get indoors.
Monthly growth rate for 2.5G and 3G customers has been recorded at 10% per month. And 80% of data customers on Edge and 3G are using for video content. And with the demand here, the company will be the first to tap into fiber optic network. The company is in discussion with government and regulator NICTA about the need to get access to public offshore network.
To give you an example, for us to get today to commercially get access to that network is 10 times higher than any other operator would be paying for off-island access from their own country. You know, and that's just not sustainable. So if we are to provide good, affordable data services for the consumer so that they can have affordability and the freedom to browse, you know, we need to get the pricing model fixed. And it's really important that the likes of NICTA and the Ministry of Communications actually sits down with us and addresses this area. And we are in discussion on this and they're aware of it. But we need to move quickly.
The company is likely to roll out a fiber ring in the capital city's central business district, passing through 26 corporate offices. Currently, 12 office buildings are commercially ready for ISP services, and 14 others will be ready within the next 4 months.
So it's a GPON ring, or a gigabit passive optical network, the type that you would see in downtown Sydney or in Singapore, New York even. So there's 7 kilometres of this fibre all passing through. It actually passes down the front, and it's hung on PNG power poles. Presently, it passed by all 26 major high-rises here in the city. We have tapped 12 of them, whereby we have a point of presence. That means that the customers within those, the businesses, the organisations, within those 12 buildings can use the fibre.
Also present at the Business Solutions Breakfast Seminar was Peter Levin of Cisco Australia. Cisco is the world leader in networking that transforms how people connect, communicate and collaborate. Cisco has a global partnership with the Digital Group for some time now, together introducing innovative technologies.
The partnership is about Cisco providing the applications that can sit off our network and improve the business, and our job is about getting people connected.
It's very exciting to hear about what Digicel can provide in Papua New Guinea. I came up on Sunday and have been very fortunate to meet with a number of you, but the network that you can provide, it's not just the voice, as we said, but the data too. There's a lot of Cisco products and services that we can now attach to that network.
Corporate representatives were shown how Digicel and Cisco can assist with a smooth transition from the traditional to the new paradigm. This will ultimately lead to increased efficiencies and reduce the complexity of doing business. The Bring Your Own Device or BYOD approach to business enables the users to securely use devices they choose to increase their productivity and mobility.
You all carry around a mobile phone. Why carry around 2 mobile phones? We can see some cost savings out of this. No longer are you buying your staff another mobile phone, you're supplying them with the voice and the data plans to be able to use them. Productivity. Allowing services, data services, straight back to the mobile in a secure and safe manner means staff can access their emails, staff can access their messages and corporate documents straight to their phone. They're out on the road, they don't need to come back to the office.
According to research, 75% of ICT executives report that allowing employees to bring consumer devices to work has increased employee confidence and productivity.
My message to the viewers would actually be all about how Cisco can help their businesses, and I encourage them to talk to their local IT providers about how to engage Cisco and how to engage us in being a trusted business partner.
And it has been our edition of Business PNG. But before we go, our programs can be accessed online at www.mtv.com.pg and go to our Business PNG page. For comments or suggestions, send them through to the email address now shown on your screen. I'm Festus Maigana. See you next Tuesday.